There are very few meats more traditional for a holiday meal or a family gathering than a nice juicy ham. And one of the nationwide favorites is Heavenly Ham. Heavenly hams are delicious, juicy, super sweet. I'm going to show you how to make my easy version without all the sugar. It's super simple to put together. It's going to be juicy, it's going to be sweet, and it's going to be guilt-free because you're not going to have all the sugar on there, but you're still going to have a delicious crust. And oh, by the way, it's going to save you a few bucks too. I'll show you what you need right after this. We have a get-together every year with some friends of ours, and one thing they always have to have is the Heavenly Ham. No other ham will work. But this year, I figured out how to make the Heavenly Ham, and nobody can tell the difference. It's really easy to do. You can use an already spiral cut ham if you want. So I like to use one that's not cut. I'll cut it myself. I'll show you how to do that because it's not as hard as you think. And then I'll show you how I put it together and make a heavenly ham right in my kitchen. Stick around. Here are the ingredients you're going to need to put together this ham. So you're going to need half of a ham. I use the butt portion. Now I'm going to show you how I slice it, but you can get a spiral cut ham as well. Just get a half. It needs to be somewhere between 7 and 8 pounds. You're going to need some good butter. You're going to need some of this keto honey and my favorite Magic Baker's blend. And here's our spice lineup. You're going to need some seasoning salt, onion powder, ground cinnamon, some nutmeg, some ginger, ground clove, smoked paprika, and allspice. Now, if you don't have these, you could use something like a pumpkin pie spice or an apple pie spice that already has a lot of these in there. I just like to be able to control the amount that I'm putting in of each one, just so I can get that heavenly ham flavor. So I'm going to measure all these out, and I'm going to show you how to put this together. All right, I've got my ham laid out on the board here. There's a bone that runs from here all the way to here, if you can see that. So we're going to kind of use that to our advantage. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take my electric knife, and I'll put a link to one of these down below. If you don't have one, it makes cutting meat really simple. I'm just going to run through it. Just a few slits down through here like that. But this is going to allow all of the seasoning and everything to get down inside this ham when I start the process of cooking it. You can go a little deeper if you want. I've cut it about, I'd say about halfway. You could go a little further. The further you go, the more you risk cutting big pieces off. More of this big nice fat cap on there. So this is all I'm going to do is just cut this into pieces like this, about halfway through, just to allow all that seasoning to get in there. And if you like the spiral slice, go ahead and get that. It's a lot easier to cut at the end, but you know, I like to have some adventures in the kitchen, so there you go. If you're liking this easy copycat recipe and you're not subscribed, subscribe right down there. Hit the little bell beside it, and then anytime I upload a video, you'll know about it. I've put my ham inside this crock pot. That's going to be our first step. This crock pot is the perfect size for this ham. It's got a little room left over. The thing I like the best about it is that if you have a family gathering or something, you just put the top on. You can clip these down like that and just take the whole crock pot right with you. And I'll leave a link for that down below if you don't have a crock pot or if you're looking for one. And what I have in here is the keto honey and butter. What I'm going to do is just paint this all over this ham. Let it get down in those cracks that we cut in there. And I'll probably open it up again and baste it in a little while. Those are the only two things you want to put on it to begin with. We'll just get it real nice and coated like that. Turn it up on the side, just so it gets all the way around it. We'll coat every side of this. One happy ham right here, I can tell you that. You're going to be real happy when you make this and eat it. So It's a win-win. Now that I have that done, I'm just gonna put it back down in the crock pot. I'm gonna put the lid on. We're gonna cook this on low for 4 to 5 hours, depending on how big yours is. Mine's a little on the smaller side. It's about 7 pounds, so I'm going 4 hours. If you got an 8 pound, you're probably gonna wanna do 5. We'll just let this sit in here, marinate for a little bit, get real happy, and we'll put together the spice mix that we're gonna rub it down with just a little bit later. It's been 4 hours in here, and this ham is done with its first part. I've transferred that over onto the foil-lined roasting pan. I'm gonna go ahead and go in here. I'm gonna go ahead and go in here and grab 4 or 5 tablespoons of this liquid to make our glaze. I've mixed up this sweetener and spice blend. I'm gonna pour half of this right in here with those juices that I took right out of the crock pot. And the rest are going right over the top of this ham. I'm just gonna press that in. I'll take what's down here and just kind of work it all into this ham. Then we're gonna take this and reduce it down to make another glaze. I'll show you what to do next. Can you see the bottom of this ham? How delicious that looks. I'm just going right over the top like that, getting as much in as I can. And then there's some on the bottom, which is where that's gonna sit right back down. I've moved my oven rack all the way to the middle, and I'm going to preheat this to a high broil. Once it gets there, we're gonna throw the ham in there until it gets nice and bubbly, and I'm gonna start working on this sauce. Now my oven is preheated on broil, so I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it in the oven, and I'm gonna wait and watch this top until it gets pretty bubbly, starts caramelizing a little bit, and then we're gonna take it out so we can apply our glaze. The other thing I like to do with this is just kind of bring these edges of this foil up pretty close so that all that sweetener that fell off is able to kind of come in contact with the bottom of that. Just makes like a nice cozy little pouch for this thing. So let's go ahead and get it in the oven. So I don't know if you can hear that or not, but after just about a minute or two, it's gonna get pretty nice and golden like that. We're just gonna let that sit while I start this glaze. And the glaze is super simple. I've got those pan juices, and I've got the rest of that sweetener blend. So I'm gonna bring this to a boil. I'm gonna let it boil for about a minute. Then I'm just gonna take it over to the ham and brush it over the top. So just watch this really carefully. You don't want this to burn, but you do want it to boil for a minute or so just to kind of reduce it down. And just keep kind of stirring it like that, just so it doesn't stick and it doesn't burn. We're going to reduce it down for a minute, and then we're going to paint our ham with this. Now we have our glaze. I'm just going to paint it right over the top of this. So I've got this glazed all the way around. We're going to put it back on broil for just a couple minutes. Make sure you keep an eye on it. You do not want it to burn, but you do want a nice glaze all over this ham. And that is what it's gonna look like when it's finished. That is a beautiful ham. I'm just gonna take this foil, wrap it up. We're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes before we serve it. So I transferred this ham over to my cutting board. But make sure that you hang on to this juice because you're going to want to spoon that over your ham. So let me just cut off a little hunk of this just so I can try it out. And, you know, make sure it's okay. That is delicious. Some heavenly ham. I hope you'll want to put this on your table, feed your family. You're going to absolutely love it. It is delicious. And as you can tell, it's pretty easy. Now, what do you serve beside it? Look over there, click on that playlist, and there's a ton of keto side dishes to choose from. I think you'll find one in there that you're going to love. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment down there when you make this and let me know how you and your family enjoy it. And I'll see you on the next video.